Hello. I want to talk to you guys about something I already mentioned in the recent 2-month sale video, but I really think it bears repeating and a separate video. Also, big thanks to my friends from Summer Cable. Oh, Summer Cable. Oh, you know, I'll show you the unboxing. They sent me a whole bunch of stuff, and this was in there. Didn't order it. This says Hiltrud on it. It's my mom's cup. They send cups for all of us. I'm gonna say it. Summer Cable are family. So, Michael and Marie sent a bunch of cables that I asked them for. And cables are the bane of our existence. We hate the damn things. First of all, we get entangled in them, but that's not the worst thing. They can break. Not if you buy a Summer Cable. No, yeah. But cables are the thing you don't want to buy. Cables are the thing that you hate buying because they're no fun. They don't make a sound. They don't have knobs. They don't add sounds to your repertoire. They're not inspiring usually. I mean, it's difficult to have an inspiring cable. So spending money on them sucks, which is why I recommend it in my sale video. Every time you buy something, you buy a guitar, you buy an amp, you buy a stand, you buy anything, pad that order with a cable or two. Because that way, it hurts you to the tune of $9.50, $19, $25. But every time a little bit. But then when you buy more speakers, you have cables. When you do anything, you're going to your rehearsal, you're buying a new pedal, all of a sudden, that new pedal means you have to have more patch cables. Whoa, you know what? You're going to go to your drawer, you already have it. It enables you to have an infrastructure and an information data highway for the stuff you would like to buy. Now, I am in a bad position because I have 3 video studios and audio studio and all that. And I'm telling you, over the years in my career as a musician for the last 30 years, I'm going to say $30,000, $40,000 in cables is likely realistic. So you buy some XLR cables and then you buy more and then you buy more and you always buy more. It's not just having the right cable, but it's also having the right cable at the right length. Because if you are, especially when it's instrument cables, if you're running a delay that's sitting on top of your amp. I just did a video and had a delay sitting on top of the amp. Yeah, I could use 2 6-meter cables because that's all I have. From the delay into the effects loop and from the effects loop back into the delay. I could, if that's all I have. If all you have are instrument cables of 6 meters, yeah, you can add 12 meter of instrument line to that, but that of course is dumb, right? Now you could add, here, that's a Summer Cable, this really beautiful short pancake cable, but you know what? That didn't reach, right? So if I had that in this much longer, that would have been the perfect length. So I used these not quite so good, but also solid rock board cables because I had it in a longer length. So it's still not 6 meters, but having something patch cable-wise in that length is a good idea, right? And then I have this length and other length. So order yourself a patch cable every time you order a pack of strings, because that way you have that shit. What about stereo TRS to jacks, to mono jacks? A lot of cables, a lot of pedals now require that. So having more patch cables, good idea. The cables I always look for are these. And that's what Summer Cable made me. And thank you, Michael, for that. It really means the world. Because I always am running low on... I'm sorry, it's not Summer's cable that these are messed up. That's me. Every time you're running something from a mixer that has a TRS out, but you need to go to XLR. Well, then you're probably going to need TRS to XLR male. How many of these cables do you have? What are the length? Let's say you have your mixer on the table and then you want to go to your monitor speaker. You're going to need this long. I have those now. They made those for me. I have 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter in these, but also in female, different length. And of course, it's summer. These are going to last forever. They're Neutrik, really high-end stuff. But I have the different length because you obviously don't want a 10-meter cable when you're going from your mixer right here to your speaker right here. You want a 1-meter cable. How many 1-meter TRS to XLR cables do you have? 0? Exactly. I now have a bunch. And I had a bunch before. But then, of course, I get some speakers and I have to set them up. Those cables are gone because they're installed. They're not something that is readily available. And I find myself always buying more of these TRS to XLR male, TRS to XLR female. These are realistic cables that you need to go, and then of course XLR to XLR. And for years, honestly, I bought the Snake. Thomann has a good selection of low-end cables. They're dirt cheap, €3.90, €4.90, different colors. Sorry, Sommer. They are decent cables, but they do break eventually. So it's up to you to go and say, well, you know what, I'm going to stock up on cables, but I will do it on the cheap. Or you go every time you buy something a little bit more higher end, like Sommer cable. You don't necessarily have to go crazy and buy this really, really beautiful guitar cable with, you know, wooden things and silent plugs and all that stuff. But you can also Sommer. Then also from Sommer, I really like these really small Hicon connectors here. Really nice. Also silent plug. And what I like about these is they come in, I think, 6 meter and 3 meter. I think so, yeah. And they're different colors. Having different color coordination is very important so that you go to your cable and it's going to say, I'm going to grab the blue one because that's 3 meter. I'm going to grab the black one because that's 6. Color coordination is important. So any company doing that, way to go. The Snake does it with the plugs. This is really nice because it's a very bendy and soft cable. Okay, lots of love for Sommer. Yeah, but this is generally about get more cables. Especially, I mean, we have a lot of stuff that still uses USB-B, right? So then, okay, I'm a little bit special in many ways, but I have to review things. So I'm putting down a Helix or whatever, and it has USB-B. And it has to go to my computer, but it also has to sit in a position where I can film it right. So whatever cable length they shipped it with is likely not enough. So I now have, and this is really not enough, so I have a shit ton of USB-B to USB-A, but also USB-C. So especially nowadays with USB cables, and these break. They break all the time. There's also different speeds. Get yourself more. Every time you order something on Amazon, maybe not every time, but get a USB-C cable. Especially USB-C. This. Bernd Kilsworth, he's like, oh my God, these are good cables. Where do you get them? This is a pet peeve of mine. I'm really angry about this. A lot of USB cables, especially USB-C, are charge cables. Everyone's got charge cables. I've got 100. Yeah, USB-C to USB-A or USB-C to USB-C, charge. And then you want to transfer some files. In my case, transferring files is huge. Okay, huge files from video shoots. And if you have a charging cable, it might do data, but at a ridiculously slow rate. So you have to get data cables. On Amazon, they're labeled as data cables. On the cable, they're the fuck not. Nowhere on this cable does it say data cable. I can tell they are because these are the nice, you know, thick braided ones. But if you didn't know, you didn't know. I know, because I know I grabbed these now. So when we were on the island, on Gear Island, it took us hours to transfer some files from a card reader to my Mac. Hours. Every night. Hours. Until we realized we had a slow charge cable. took a short Amazon Basics data cable. 3 minutes. We were dumbasses. So make sure that you always have USB data cables, especially when it comes to hooking up your pedal, updating it, firmware, blah, blah, blah. And sadly, there is no standard in labeling these. They should have a D on it and a C for charge or data, but there isn't. So again, get yourself some USB-C cables. HDMI. I think Sommer makes these. I'm pretty sure Sommer makes any kind of cable. I order HDMI cables like I order bread at the bakery. Obviously, that's what I need. But why do you only have as many HDMI cables as you have a TV? What if it breaks? No TV for you, no PlayStation for you. Have a spare one in the drawer. And thus, this all hurts if you have to buy it in bulk. But if every time you buy something, get the $6 HDMI cable, get the USB-C cable, have spare ones, have different length. I have 7 meter, 10 meter, 15 meter HDMI. Obviously, I need that for my studio, but it makes sense. Speaker cable. Now, this is a nice speaker cable. I don't know who makes this. I have no idea. Oh, that's a Thomann one. Okay, good. Now, I have loads of Sommer. Very nice. They could also help with being labeled better. I do see these easier because of the big ass plugs. Klotz has the blue plugs, which really helps. So I recommended to Sommer, make your speaker cables easier to spot. Because for someone that deals with cables, let's say in a practice room, whatever, you don't want to grab a speaker cable when you're plugging in guitar, and you definitely don't want to use an instrument cable when you're plugging in a speaker. Definitely not. But is this long enough? Get a 3 meter and a 6 meter speaker cable. You never know where you might have to put your amp and where your speaker is. Most of the time you know, but again, it doesn't hurt if you do it one here, one there. Okay, every time, add a cable. Here's a longer speaker cable, as you can clearly see, that has a number on it. Now, Sommer also makes this. IEC cable. So you only have as many IEC cables as you have, we call them Kaltgerätestecker, as you have devices. I have those little Philips ones, which are the double ones, and these in loads of length. And honestly, I'm not shitting you. The change that makes to my life is drastic. Knowing I have a box of these in this length. Because for the amp review I did, this was totally fine. And then for another amp review, or for another thing, you have this length, which is already pretty long. They make them in 5 meter. I've got brand new ones in a package, 5 meter, 3 or 4 of them. Because sometimes you need that. Instead of pulling the extension to the amp, you can plug in your amp at a distance. Having more IAC cables, this is $5, okay? It really helps. And having them all in a box that you can grab at different length and enough of them. You're getting a new amp? Oh, guy bought it used, guy forgot to put the cable in. You can't use your amp. Well, you can go and grab this. The Philips one, the little one. And there's the 3-prong one. I only have 2 or 3 of these. But you need them sometimes, okay? So having a collection of every kind of cable that you need in different length, in sufficient quality, really, I can't stress this enough, is key to working efficiently. And to me, having a room where everything is that I can grab, also SDI cables for my cameras, thank you so much for those, changes everything in how efficient you are. Think about your rehearsals. Oh, where's that cable? Does anyone have that cable? Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, why is it? And you rattle it and there's a bad connection. Take it away, plug in a new one. Get more than you want, because you will need them sooner or later. Get different lengths that at the moment you don't know you need. Get shorter than you think, get longer than you think. You are going to thank me, probably not because you're going to spend lots of money. And please use my affiliate links below for purchasing any cable at those stores below that you want, obviously. But trust me, if I learned one thing, setting up a studio, rehearsal space, video studio, anything, You need the cables. And it's the non-sexy thing we never buy. We never want to buy. So buy one every time and you're good to go. That's my message for the day. Thanks for watching. Use the links. Thank you so much. I love you guys. And animals at the end.
Be gone. Let's give it love. Let's give it love, sweet little Tiffany. Come, let me show you what we used to be. Let's give it love, sweet little Tiffany. 'Cause without love, there's only oxygen we breathe. Let's give it love, sweet little Tiffany. Come, let me show you how we used to be. Let's give it